Council regular meeting of Monday, April 1st, 2024 order. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. Approval of agenda. I do have 2 items to add under Mayor Council member reports. Number 2 will be proclamation for National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. And number 3 would be Wyoming Council.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion we approve the amended agenda.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of Monday, March 18th, 2024.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Any nominations for recognition?
Madam Mayor, I would like to nominate Eileen Vickers for donating the land for the pickleball.
Good one. Any other? We have no certificates of recognition to hand out this evening. Citizens business verbal number 1, Sammy Stevens, Crook County Family Violence.
Thank you for allowing me to come and speak tonight. It's been a year that has gone by very quickly. A year ago, I was asked by the Division of Victim Services Attorney General's Office to step in at Focus as an intern director. And then July 1st of last year, we officially took over. And we are now known as Northeast Wyoming Advocacy and Resource Center. We're still using Crook County Family Violence for grants and contracts and stuff like that, but we rebranded it. That is our new name now, is Newark. In the year that we've been here, I think that we've done some amazing things. My advocate, Kaylee Gould, she's been down here for the whole time, and she actually relocated. She used to live in Sundance, and now she lives down here in Newcastle and has settled in quite nicely. We are open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30. And the time that we've been here, we've had approximately 31 unduplicated victims that we have seen. We've helped a handful of people with emergency financial assistance and putting victims in shelter, helping them with utilities, rent. But for the most part, that's pretty limited based upon what our budget will allow us to do for the emergency financial assistance. And I was not able to come present for your guys' budget meeting, which I believe is on the 8th?
No, the 3rd.
The 3rd? I was like, I think it was it on Wednesday?
Yeah.
So I teach at the Wyoming Law Enforcement Academy, and I can't get out of my duties there. So when Stacy stated that I could come present at the city council meeting, I was more than happy to oblige to come talk to you guys about our program and the services that we provide, and once again ask for continued city funding to keep our program up and going. We are expecting, not this fiscal year, but next fiscal year, we're expecting about a 40% budget cut, and that's because of our VOCA funding. Everyone will be receiving a reduced amount next fiscal year based upon VOCA funds. And so we're not going to feel that effect necessarily this year, but next year we will definitely feel that effect. I don't know how that's going to look for the most part with us regionalizing, doing Crook and Weston County. I really don't think the Division of Victim Services is going to be cutting funding quite so much in our area because we do need a full-time advocate in both counties. The other part that we're going to be probably having to reduce would be the financial assistance to victims, kind of tightening our belt in our office supplies and our travel and those sort of things. And we've got about a year to try to figure it out and to navigate those waters.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions or concerns?
Do you have emergency calls on the weekends? Do you take?
Yes, we do, and actually, Kaylee got called out this weekend and put a gal in shelter this weekend, and I actually got called out as well, and I kind of looked the way that I look tonight, because I actually worked with the victim till about 5:15 up in Monroe County. So it was not a very good weekend for some of our victims, and I don't know if it was the fact it was a holiday weekend or just the snow, but families just did not get along very well this weekend. But we do provide on-call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year.
Well, thank you for what you do.
Oh, you're welcome. So, any questions or concerns, other concerns?
We wish you luck on your budget and getting
Thank
grants.
you. I appreciate that.
Now, do you work with the Wild Health?
Yes, we work with WyoHealth and the 211 to get additional resources and information out to our clients.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to citizens' business in writing, we have West End Bar and Grill 24-hour catering permit, 24-hour catering permit that under the, and by virtue of the provisions of section 12-4-502, subsection B of the state of Wyoming alcohol beverage control laws, the city of Newcastle, County of West End, State of Wyoming, in consideration of the sum of $20 paid by Tammy Waite, doing business as West End Bar and Grill of the City of Newcastle, County of West End, hereby licenses, permits, and authorizes said Tammy Waite, doing business as West End Bar and Grill, to sell alcohol beverages in and upon the premises of the Weston County Event Center for an event more specifically described as follows: Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation Banquet. This license for catering permit is for the term of 1 day only, beginning on the 27th day of April 2024 at 12 o'clock noon through 28th day of April 2024 at 12 o'clock noon.
Your Honor, go ahead, Mr. Butts. Did you start?
No.
Oh. Well, I move that we approve this catering permit with West End.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the West End Bar and Grill for a 24-hour catering permit. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Moving on to mayor council member reports. Number 1, proclamation, child abuse awareness and prevention. The mayor's proclamation, Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. Whereas children are our future, no child shall suffer abuse and neglect, and whereas victims of child abuse and neglect are known to be at a higher risk for experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, low academic achievement, drug use, juvenile delinquency, teenage pregnancy, and adult criminal. Every child is precious and deserves to grow up in a healthy, safe, nurturing environment, free from harm, effects of abuse and neglect. And whereas an estimated 800 children in Wyoming are victims of abuse and neglect each year. And whereas effective child abuse intervention and community prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created among community members, social services, and law enforcement agencies, schools, churches, business, and civic organizations. And whereas each April, child advocacy centers of Wyoming, the Children's Trust Fund Board, Prevent Child Abuse Wyoming, Wyoming Citizens Review Panel, the Wyoming Department of Family Services, the Wyoming Office of Attorney General Division of Victim Services, the Wyoming GAL program, and the City of Newcastle, Wyoming, and other partners join together in the effort to prevent abuse and neglect through outreach, education, and intervention. Now therefore, I, Pam Valteri, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Newcastle, Wyoming, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2024 as Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. In witness wherefore, I have hereunto set my hand and caused this official seal of the city of Newcastle to be affixed this first day of April 2024. Number 2, under Mayor Council Member Reports, Proclamation National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that regular police, fire, or emergency medical services, and when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property, and the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens of the city of Newcastle, town of Upton, and Weston County who telephone the 911 communications center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators work as professionals to improve the emergency response capabilities and are the single vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel through their leadership and training and by monitoring the responders' activities by radio, providing them information and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of City of Newcastle, Town of Upton, and Weston County Communications Center have contributed substantially to all apprehensions of criminals, suppressions of fires, and treatment of patients, and whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Therefore, the City of Newcastle does hereby proclaim the week of April 14th through the 20th of 2024 as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week in the City of Newcastle and the County of Weston in honor and recognition of dispatchers and the vital contribution they make to the safety and well-being of our citizens each and every day. So dated this first day of April 2024. I'll pass this so each council member can sign. Chief, clerk will get a copy of that for you to do.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on to number 3 under Mayor and Council Member Reports. Shane Crawford with the Wyoming Refining Company got back to me in regards to meeting with the Wyoming Department of Environmental Quality representatives. Wanted to know if there's any day, Tuesday through Friday, that would work. So he gave me the dates of May 7th through the 9th, or the 14th through the 16th. I do believe this will be something that is in the evening, held at the lodge, open to the public. So if you wanted to check and see what date would work best for us, so I figured if we can get him maybe a date in each of the week, so then he can correspond with the county commissioners and then the representatives from the Wyoming Department of Environmental.
What was the second set of dates, Madam Mayor? The
So
14th?
14th through the 16th, and this is in May.
For the 7th through the 9th?
7th through the 9th, or the 14th through the 16th. Is there a day that does not work in either of those weeks?
14th to the 16th, I'll be out of town.
Okay, so for the 7th, 8th, and 9th work?
Well, on the eighth, I'll be in the hospital getting a new hip.
Of May?
Of May.
Oh, I thought it was April.
I did too, they changed their mind.
So does the 7th look good for everybody?
I can do something looks good.
Okay, so I'll get back with Mr. Crawford and let him know the 7th. And then we'll just kind of go from there. And it's that's all that I have under mayor council member reports. Is there anything else?
I had something, Madam Mayor. So, the business that we had come up with, when we were selecting, members of the board for the planning and zoning committee, it was suggested by a citizen that we look at the application that we have for, board members within the city, and maybe add some more items to the application. So then we would get a little bit more backstory about each person and then, cause I mean, what it has now is just some basic information and then why they wanna serve on the board. But we might, if we added a few more, sections to the application, we might be able to get, a little bit more backstory on the people that are trying to serve on our boards.
So is that something that maybe the new board committee we want to get together and put out as like a new application type thing for all the boards, the rec, planning, airport?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a good idea.
You have a copy of that thing that they have to sign up now?
Oh, no, I can run by the office and grab one
We
from
can get one from
Stacy's.
Stacy, okay.
Okay,
So if you
Thank
get the board committee wants to figure out a date to meet maybe on that.
yeah, we can, I can find her an email with the other team members and see what works, a little bit later.
We're just right here.
Oh, I know, but this, meeting was kind of cooking along.
Oh, okay, all right, you didn't wanna mess it up, huh?
We'll move on to department head reports, Public Works Supervisor Greg Summer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The first item, Zachary Lane has completed his probationary period. I would recommend Zachary Lane for permanent employment and a 50-cent raise for completing his probation, effective March 27th, 2024.
I would move that we, approve Zachary Lane to, full-time employment, and give them a 50-cent raise, backdated to when?
March 27th.
March 27th.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Zachary Lane for a 50-cent raise in a permanent position. Any further discussion?
I'd just like to know what it was, he's just getting base pay now, or what?
Yes. He's at $18.50 an hour, so it's from 19.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Thank you. Second item I have, I've met with the Weston County Solid Waste District a couple times about the equipment we have at our current landfill. And to come up with a price, I included it in the Public Works Projects report. These are kind of where we negotiated it to. I guess I would request that we surplus these items and sell them to the Solid Waste District with the provision that they remain at the current landfill until their landfill opens and ours closes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Be nice to be able to travel 2 miles down the road instead of who knows where. The compactor is in pretty poor shape. It needs a lot of work. The other items that we negotiated, the landfill screening, the used oil tanks, they're set up for their system. If we can get rid of it, don't have to push it into the iron pile and all that scrap, we're still money ahead, so.
How would that work, I guess, if you sell it to the solid waste district and then they leave it at the landfill using it, and any repairs, any communication, I guess, back and forth on the repair as well?
We would
transfer it.
I would say we do like we do with the grinder. As long as we're using it, we pay for the repairs. That's the way we are with the grinder. That was the agreement we had with that one. They purchased the grinder, we leased it from them, and then we maintain it.
So if it come into between now and maybe the end of the year before they would take it over, if we lost an engine, we'd have to put an engine in it before we give it to them.
Most likely, yes.
So, this, I was actually gonna ask you when you asked for questions, about this equipment exchange, because the sanitation committee had been involved in kind of negotiating this, so I didn't know that it had gone any further. The last meeting that I attended, the solid waste district was trying to get us to just give them the equipment with the caveat that it would be a higher tipping fee for the patrons of the new Weston County Solid Waste District landfill to pay at the scale. So I'm glad that you were able to negotiate, a fair price for the equipment, because I felt like it should be paid for and that it had worth. So I guess that's more of a statement, but then I also wanted to know, do they have a date that they're pushing for? Because I think Councilman Stevenson has a valid point. If we're running the equipment out there and they bought it from us and then it breaks and then we have to fix it, why couldn't we just sell it to them the day that they take over the...
Councilman, I agree. If that would be better for the council, that's fine too. We haven't really discussed the finite details. We mainly got to the point where we have a price.
Can we do a as-is, no warranty, like a car sales?
There as is, no warranty. I said the second they drive off our lot, the warranty ends. And I can go back to them and discuss it with them.
Yeah, I'm just concerned, I guess, on if we sell it to them now, And like I said, you don't sell it to them as is, no warranty, you know, at the end of it, if they're still at the bargain price that they have here, and it's all in good shape still, no issue with it, then we just sell it to them at the end of when they take over. I know over the years, these things have been plaguing us with repairs. And I don't know if that's with any of these that I see in the bills tonight, is some repairs for cat.
Yep.
You know, I guess of what they are expecting that to be turned over to them once they bought it, you know, 8 months, 12 months from now.
So that, there still isn't like a hard date that they have put out yet?
Their last meeting, they said the power's been moved into the place, so they actually have power now. There's equipment showing up to start building the buildings, that sort of stuff. The pit has been dug, the liner is in place, the sump pump and pools for stormwater have been built. That's where they're at. I would say, they were talking June sometime. I would say probably closer to August or September. But they're moving forward, it's just a matter of, the power line really held them up for a long time. I guess they worked on that for 3 years to get power there. You really can't do anything else without power, so.
Yeah, so just to clarify, Greg, what all is entailed in the equipment that you're gonna be, it's an exchange, you said?
No, they would purchase it.
Okay. And have we done any sort of advertising on anything like that, or?
No.
Okay. And this is all just hypothetical as of right now? They're just kind of talking of what the terms would be? Okay. That new $500 statute under the manner of disposing of municipal property is kind of stringent, but they do have in the alternate on 15-1-112, you can sell it to sell any property to the state of Wyoming for the use of any agency or instrumentality thereof, and then any agency or instrumentality of the state or federal government authorized to hold property in its own name, or any political subdivision of the state. I think you still probably have to do some advertising for that, but we can work on that once everything's kind of figured out.
And I apologize, I'm not used to the new rule yet.
That $500 is it's a, you know, that basically everything has to be advertised. And we can look into it.
Okay.
And that would be the change, I think, is that 500, but we'll see.
And if it pleases the council, we can write it up that we retain it until they open up. And they can
I think that's,
put themselves to that.
that's a good thing. What do you think?
I'm just be leery of, you know, obviously, I think it's good that we're able to either get some money out of it. I know in the years past, we were gonna give the equipment over to them once we closed our landfill. I just kinda worry, I guess, that there's no wording on how that's put in after it's done. Is that gonna be expected that it's running and we give it back to them? And if it's non-repairable, you know, something happened to it, and it's gonna cost more money to repair it than what the machine's worth.
And any more repairs, that comes quick.
Yeah.
We can come up with an agreement, I think, that pleases the council.
Thank you for that.
Does anybody have any questions on the reports?
You got anything you can tell us about the RV thing and like out?
The underground work is done. We would have probably set forms today and tried pouring concrete this week, but the weather kind of put us back in it. So we're working on that one until we get it done. But it should be done, hopefully at the end of this week, first of next week.
Supposed to be 70 degrees this week.
Any other questions for?
I had one more question. The sewer sensors, that were installed, has there ever been any trouble or have they gone off since we installed them?
We had a little trouble in the beginning, for some reason, they were deactivated. Call census got that going. As far as I know, they're working, we check them every day to see if they're sensing, and they say they are, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not, till we have a backup, we won't know how well they work, so.
We don't want to know that.
That's my thought too. I'd rather not test them.
Thank
It was interesting when he was removed. There's quite a few people that will remember my comments at the time because it came after Ogden, reportedly, I guess you should say, because it was reported and then they claimed that he claimed that didn't happen, but we all saw the letters where he made the chairmans of the board sign that we're going to do this and that and the other thing, and we're not going to disobey. And
We're not going to disobey. I love that. I love that part. We're not going to disobey.
pretty much that's what I got
Yeah.
from it. Reading it is, aye, Captain, we will follow your rule. It kind of made me look a little different at Driscoll. And then this year's made
Well,
it
and you
even-
didn't just look different. Come on. You gave him a nickname even.
I gave him a nickname. He was saved in my phone still to this day as Dictator Driscoll. And I still don't feel bad about that because Weston County hasn't seen him once leading up to this session.
All right, moving on to Police Chief Jared Thompson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Do my calls for service first. Newcastle Police Department, 166, and this is since March 18th. Weston County Sheriff's Office, 74. Upton Police Department, 16. Newcastle Volunteer Fire Department, 2. Weston County Fire District, 17. Upton Volunteer Fire Department, 0. Newcastle Ambulance, 27. And Upton Ambulance, 3. The second item is I would recommend Mackenzie Officer Parrish received a 50-cent raise for completing the field training officer program that now allows her to train any, whether it be from the basic, from a completely untrained department or officers that are previously certified and have experience in those places, just train them as far as local ordinances and local streets and things like that, and just get the basics down. She's our second field training officer.
Is there a date?
March 13th, she completed that course.
I move that we give Mackenzie Parrish a 50-cent raise, backdated to March 13th for completing the field training officer class.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Tell her congratulations on passing the class.
Will do.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
And the only other thing I had was, I noticed we have a copy of this lease agreement, just, we can discuss it later, but just so you're aware, I gave a copy of that to the board, so they were gonna review it and see if there was anything that any issues they had with it. Perfect.
Any questions for the chief?
I have one. Have you not heard anything more on surplus firearms?
I have not even called Ramsey. Name slipping my mind. I was gonna call him today and I got tied up on a runaway, so I haven't gotten there yet, but hopefully this week I'll get to that.
I had a question for Chief too.
Yes, sir.
I noticed in the claims that one of the officers had to pay for fuel and needed reimbursed. Can you, is there a reason that he had to pay for fuel.
Oh, yes, one of them, when they went to get those patrol vehicles, they took off and didn't have the city credit card with them. Yeah. Okay, that's the only one I can think of anyways.
Yeah, that sounds like it would kind of fit the bill.
Yeah.
So they just forgot the card.
Well, yeah, I forgot to give it to them, so, yeah, it was my fault.
When did Deadwood lost their money?
Any other questions?
I had nothing further.
Thank you. Moving on to City Attorney Dublin Hughes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. One thing I needed to bring to council's attention is today I was given notice of a complaint that was filed by the State of Wyoming Department of Workforce Services in representation of Charles Bowles. He's brought a complaint against the city under the Wyoming Fair Employment Practices Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act. As of right now, seeing it was today, we're still figuring out whether or not the Wyoming or local government and limit liability pool will be defending on the complaint, or whether our office will be defending on the complaint. Regardless, whether it's us or them, an answer will be filed in that. And that's all I have.
Any questions for the City Attorney? Moving on to City Clerk Treasurer Stacy Haggerty.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a reminder that the workshop is Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And that's all I have.
Any questions for the City Clerk? Thank you. Moving on to old business, ordinance number 1, series 2024, an ordinance amending the order of business, third reading. Did you want to mention something?
Yeah, you know about that, probably.
Yeah, so council, I believe, and I don't know this for sure, but frankly, I think it's fairly obvious why the invocation wouldn't have been in the actual agenda prior to, or in the actual municipal code book. The reason is because it brings into the public venue in city council meetings that whenever you have an invocation, anyone from any religion or any secular group must be able to actually bring the invocation in with the city council. So you could end up having, around here, just by demographics, you have a majority of Christian and Catholic invocations, but let's say that, someone who is an atheist wanted to come in and give basically a very non-religious statement as an invocation. It would be at least required, and it would open up the council to possible establishment clause litigation if they weren't allowing that. So that's probably the reason why it wasn't in the book in the first place, in the ordinance book, excuse me. So it's fine for the council to have that, they just have to observe quite a few rules in regards to having that invocation.
So what if, before you knock the gavel and say, stand up for the pledge, we ask somebody to do an invocation then?
Well, I figured we could probably ask each one of the churches in town and see if they would want to and what if they would want to come in.
Yeah, but if we did it before the meeting, then we're not technically involved in the other problem.
Yeah, but then,
Call the order.
yeah, even then though, you would be, not actually calling a meeting to order, and you'd have quorum present while discussing something. So,
Well, invocation is not a discussion.
no, but someone could argue that it is.
Well, yeah. Okay, just checking.
Oh, yeah, so I'm,
Where we are leaving it? Or what
are you
do
done
say?
reading the ordinance, Madam Mayor?
I am.
Okay, I move that we approve ordinance number 1, Series 2024 on third reading. And then, yeah, never mind, on third reading.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on third reading of ordinance number 1, 2024. Any further discussion?
Yes, so did we have this discussion prior to making the motion that we want to remove invocation from the order of business, or are we just leaving it as is?
There was no discussion about removing it.
No,
I think we're leaving it.
it's be just like it is here. That's what you moved to do.
Okay, so we're leaving it as is?
Yeah.
Okay. It sounded like the discussion was leaning towards the problems that we could have by leaving the invocation. So I didn't know if anyone was suggesting that we remove the invocation.
No, Attorney Hughes just sent an email out in regards to it, so
I must have missed that one, though. I didn't see it.
I'll have to check that chain and make sure that it is the correct email. I know I've sent it to the wrong email before, so.
Oh, that's all right. If there was some, an email in reference to this,
There was.
then, yeah, I could have read it before I got to the council meeting.
Apologies.
That's okay.
I'm sure you have no idea what's going on.
okay, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, ordinance number 1, 2024, third reading, passed. Moving on to,
In regard to old business, UEC precast, the documents that I've been trying to get from the county, in Bingham County, is still processing for whatever reason because of the fact that there are apparently multiple Greg Hoskins. Gregory Hoskins, Greg Hoskins, etc. One of the things that
is disgusting.
the clerk did tell me is that one of the people whomever, which Greg it is, does have quite a few liens on a bunch of those properties. And so
That's the guy we're looking for.
it's probably that guy. Whenever that does come in, I will advise the council of, what properties are holding liens and which aren't, and everything else. But as of right now, that's the status of that. It's unfortunate. That's all I can say.
It's an ongoing saga.
Yeah, when I had made the request, she, the gal that was running it basically just said, so which grade, is it Gregory Hoskins or Greg Hoskins? And then she said a different middle initial on a few of them, so.
The one that's in trouble.
One with the most money.
oh, boy. Sounds good.
Yep.
Well, moving on to number 3, the Joint Powers Board, you said, Chief, you said that you've given them a copy, but we haven't heard back from them.
I provided them with, I believe, would be this copy, what Delvin sent me the other day. And they wanted to read it over, and we did make a motion that if they agreed to it, then that the chairman could sign it. I have not heard back from them at this point, so.
Okay, so we need to table this again.
I don't know if there's any further discussion on Godwin's end, but.
I haven't heard anything on their end. To be fair to the Joint Powers Board, I believe that was edited and sent out either the day before or the day of for their meeting, so I don't think that they would be signing a 28 or 30 page lease without at least reading it.
Blow your eyeballs out.
They wanted the opportunity to read through it. The chairman of the board could sign it, the chairman of the board didn't have any changes they wanted to do.
Okay, so we'll table this to our next meeting. Alright, any standing committee reports? new business? Claims against the city dated April 1st, 2024.
Madam Mayor, I move that we pay the claims against the city.
Second.
We have a motion and second to pay the claims against the city dated April 1st, 2024. Any further discussion?
Yes. Our, on Streeter's thing there, did he, we pay half of his wages or the county pay half because he's got $2,000 there and we have $1,300 in our thing for payment.
You're talking about just, I think he's just talking about the Mondale airport minutes. Are included in the packets. I'm assuming they're just
Unless-
talking about whatever else the county pays, because we don't pay that.
But last month we paid him $1,700 and something.
This council did?
City did.
No, that's what you got paid from the airport.
Our payment's $1,333 each month. It's just gotta be the difference with the county, that's not.
Yeah,
That's their
Mondale
minutes.
paid. That's their minutes.
Okay.
Right, but did you not see it
Somebody's paying it.
in our bills, our claims, we paid $1,300.
Yeah, that's his monthly from us.
Do you see this on here?
Right. I'm assuming that they're combining with the county.
That's not half. That's more than that.
Well, we know what happens when we send the county a bill.
We can look into that.
Well, you guys can probably ask the board on Wednesday, I bet,
Okay.
Yeah.
on the budget.
Yeah.
We can do that. Is there any other discussion on the claims? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We have a motion to adjourn.
Madam Mayor, I move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Adjourned at 7:46.
Wow, it's raining. I have one more hour, I'm at the door.
So talk to me, Doug. Does Chuck have a